go through a quick little video about how we sell on TCGplayer. So here's our page, of course. We're up to 57 subs. We'll talk about this later in our video too. But first thing we're going to highlight is the Magic Sorter. The Magic Sorter is a card sorting machine for TCG cards. This is made over in Europe, and this costs about $3,000 and takes about 3 to 4 months to get here. Now, you have a subscription that you will have with the Magic Sorter. Costs, I think, $20 a month is what it is. And that'll keep an updated process of the continuous cards going into TCG. This will also help with actually setting the prices on them, as these will help upload. When we get our machine in, we will definitely go through a tutorial on it and tell you our pros and our cons on this machine. But for here now, let's kind of go through how I go through my bulk cards right now and how we entered them on TCG. It's not super impressive and it's not very economical, but it's all I can do right now. So sit tight, relax, watch, and hopefully this can help you. So as you can see here, these are our cards that are separated out. We're doing temporal forces right now, and we're going to separate out the actual lightning energy cards or the lightning cards on the table here. And I'm going to separate them out between each individual Pokemon and just kind of go from there. So it's a tedious process. It takes a little bit of time, but it's the only way I can sort them right now until we get the Magic Sorter.
A few moments later.
Insert everything into TCGplayer. So we've been a member of TCGplayer for over a year now. Been selling cards on there. And like I said before, we sell Lorcana, we sell Pokemon. And basically what we do is we try to hit that market of that 1 to 5 cent cards. You're probably thinking to yourself, not a lot of profit margin there. There really isn't. But as you can see, inventory total, we got about 3,700 cards in our inventory. That's going to go up quite a bit because we're really starting to ramp this up. We're a level 4 seller. Wasn't difficult to get there. Now, I'm going to show you when you're inputting cards in here for inventory. So you go to inventory, we're going to go to Pokemon, and what we have is a bunch of temporal forces one. So we're going to go down there and find the set of temporal forces. The reason you want to find that set when you're going through and doing it is because it's going to make it much easier when you actually try to narrow down the card. So we have a bunch of lightning energy cards we went through. You've seen that in the previous video here. So there's about 125 of those. And so we're trying to see, like, how long does it take to submit 125 cards by ourselves? And we'll go through just a few of these to show you. I'm not going to give you all 125 submissions and put you to sleep there. But the first one we have up is we have a Raichu. Okay. So I look through the Raichu, and the way I do it is I separate it between the hollows, reverse hollows, and common cards. So when I type this in, you'll see it, okay? It's 2 cents right now is what it sells for a card with the $1.31 shipping. Of course, that $1.31 shipping includes if you buy multiple cards. We usually sell anywhere from 1 card to about 20 cards per buyer, really. Sometimes we'll get some crazy ones where people want like 300 or 400 cards. We usually cancel those orders because we just can't ship it for the $1.31. Now, the profit margin on these cards are pretty slim anyway. So TCGplayer is going to take 30 cents off right off the top. Then they're going to take a percentage of all your sales too. So on one of these Raichu cards at 2 cents, it's going to be $1.33 is what it's going to sell for, and that's what you're going to pay. Okay. Now, after you have a stamp, you have your plain white envelope, and you have your team bag, your penny sleeve, whatever else it may be, you're going to make not a ton of profit on these. And most of the time, whenever we sell like a 1 cent card, we usually turn anywhere from a 5 to 8 cent profit on them. So profit margins are narrow, but we have all these to sell in bulk. So that's kind of why we do it. So let's go ahead and insert some of these. So right here, we're going to keep the price at 2 cents. And we already have 2 that are in our stock. We're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 more I'm going to put in there. So I got 10 total. Then I'm going to go down here towards the reverse hollow. I got 2 of those. 4 cents. You can either put match, that's at the market value. I'm going to go to the 4 cents. I got 2 of them. I'm going to save it. I'm just going to update it right there. Now it's going to go back. Now I got the Koraidon here, and I'll insert this one as well. So with Koraidon, you have a hollow and you have a reverse hollow. So we're going to go ahead and insert this into there. You get pretty good at actually trying to spell out these names when you go through it. Now you have the EX and the regular card, of course, is the regular card. Now when you have to go through, you have to make sure you have the reverse hollow versus the hollow separated. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's reversed. 8, 9. I got 9 hollow, 1 reverse. So these sell for 1 cent each. I got 9 of them more I'm adding, so I got 13 right there. Then you got the reverse hollow. I'm going to go 1 cent less because I'm just going to try to get rid of it. So I'm going at 9 cents there. Those cards are in there. So as you see, as you get going through this, it starts going a little bit faster, a little bit smoother, a little bit easier. Now, the difference between TCGplayer and selling on eBay is that eBay typically If you have any card, it has the under $20 shipping. It's usually about, I think, 69 cents to ship a card with tracking. It's very nice. TCG Player and eBay, they're the same store. They're owned by the same people. Okay, eBay bought tracking on there, and for any order over $50, tracking has to be added. Otherwise, you cannot submit it as being shipped. Okay, so on TCG Player, some other things, you go on there, you can see different feedbacks and things like that. We usually have pretty good feedback on here. Every now and then, someone's order will get lost or something. Nothing too crazy, but you'll see here that we've had 126 orders in the last 30 days. We got our negative, neutral, positive feedback. And like you can see, mostly 5 stars on most of the stuff we do. So TCG Player's been pretty good to us. You have the orders and stuff. You click on there. Of course, I don't want to show you those because I don't want to give people's details away, but it works out pretty good. Payment wise, they send out your payments a little bit different. They have scheduled payments on there. So in the last week or so, we have about $113 we've sold cards on there. And last year alone on TCG Player, we sold about $12,000 worth of cards, and that's a lot of 1 cent to 5 cent cards. We shipped out a ton of orders. Okay. Now in the lifetime, 2,814 orders. So we've shipped out a lot of orders in the lifetime that we've been on here. And I got to say, it's not all profit, but it does fill a little bit of a niche for people that are looking to complete sets or to build decks. So I definitely think it's worth doing it. If you do get a chance though, TCG Player does a pretty good job. It's fairly integrated. You can be in the TCG Plus, which means, you put your cards on there, and then when the orders get filled, TCG Player sends them out, and then you have to restock TCG Player stock cards. I'm not part of that. For me, it's just not a niche that I'm willing to fill because it's more expensive than the cards that I'm selling. But that's how TCG Players work for me. It's done a pretty good job. And like I said, we buy mostly our stamps. We try to get them as cheap as we can, whether it be stamps.com, whatever it may be. Of course, so we can mail things as cheap as possible. Do we have issues? Yes. Sometimes you'll have issues. If you try to send cards or orders that are more than 15 cards, usually it doesn't work. We can usually send orders of 15 cards in a plain white envelope. Usually there's no issues. And for most of our cards, of course, they're going to be in penny sleeves together because they're really cheap cards. So people usually don't care if penny sleeve together. But TCG Player, it's been a good one for us. We've kind of liked it. We've been here for over a year now. And like I said, total sales from when we started to right now is probably approaching about $15,000 to $16,000. Of course, not all profit. There's a lot of stuff you got to take out of there, but we have all these cards, tons of them. Okay. And what are we going to do with them? We need to sell them. Bulk buying right now is really tough to do. We just bought 150,000 cards from an individual. We got them at a premium price, so we couldn't pass it up, but we're going to have inventory for a while. Now, that's what's going on there. Now, what we're going to do is if you go on to anything on YouTube, Pokeepisode, that's where we're at, we are going to get the Magic Sorter, okay? Now, you'll see some different videos in here about the Magic Sorter card sorting machine. They're phenomenal. They come from the UK. They run about $3,000. We have one of these ordered. We should be getting it right about the beginning of April to the middle of April. Very excited about it. And the sorting machine versus the fizz batch is unbelievable. It's way more expensive than I want to do because TCG Player is the one that does it. But this one right here, the Magic Sorter, this is an excellent, excellent old school Pokemon. These guys do a great review on it. I know it's 2 years old, but the Magic Sorter has had some upgrades. Another one, the Kitchen Table TCG. They were one of the first ones to have a Magic Sorter that I did watch. They're another good one as well. So let's see where it goes, and we'll do an updated video once the Magic Sorter gets here. But hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys see our channel, like and subscribe. We got a few more subs today, so we went from about 53 to 57 today. Very excited about it. And we got some different Pokemon news up there, the Pokemon market, how it's out of control, what TCG Player is doing to manipulate the market. But that's all I got for right now, guys. So remember, like, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. Comment below, let us know. How do you sell your bulk? What's the best way you found out to sell your bulk or your more common cards? All right, guys. And remember, catch them all.